All right, welcome back. Thank you so much for staying with us. Being a Thursday, we talk matters health, and today being the 12th of March, the world is marking World Kidney Day. 20 years since the world began to mark this very special day that highlights the importance of kidney health. And that is what we're focusing this morning, just to see how far we are doing in as far as awareness is concerned. And I want us to take a look at some of the graphics and statistics, how it's doing and how we are doing in the country with regard to kidney health and kidney when it comes to matters of kidney. We start off with some of statistics here, and we see that 4 million Kenyans are living with kidney disease. That means 1 in 10 people. Cases projected to reach 4.8 million by 2030. We see that chronic kidney disease, that is CKD, affects about 4% of the population. 10,000 Kenyans are living with end-stage renal disease. Over 5,000 patients are currently on dialysis, and dialysis demand rising by about 20% yearly in some hospitals. Nearly 1,000 deaths annually are caused by kidney-related complications. And 708 kidney transplants have been performed between the year 2012 to 2022. But only 160 transplants done in 2021. That equates to 2.8% of ESRD patients. And top causes of kidney disease includes diabetes, high blood pressure, and of course infections. We'll be getting deeper to understand just what infections these are that are the leading causes of course, kidney disease. With me in studio, I have my guests were already here with me to help me understand what today means for them. We have Dr. Victor Ngani, he's a medical doctor, Dr. Rasik Kantari, Jalaram Medical Services, and our special guest, Peter Karanja, is a kidney transplant recipient. He will be painting the picture for us this morning, being a walking proof of recovery and speaking from experience to help us understand just what happens to the system when somebody has a kidney complication. Karibuni sana. Good to have you.
Thank you.
World Kidney Day. I'll start with you, Peter. Now that, of course, you are walking the shoe, what does this day mean to you?
It's special to me because it's a chance to create awareness, to make sure that everyone knows that there is kidney failure and that it's real, and that people need to know what causes kidney failure so that they can take care of themselves, so that they do not find themselves where I am today.
20 years of the world marking Kidney Day.
Yeah.
Do you feel like a lot of awareness has been created now that you say that for you, this day speaks to you in a way that at least awareness is being created when we're talking about kidney disease? Do you feel that much is being done?
I would say not really, because I will use myself as an example. The first time I came to know there was kidney failure, it's when I had it myself. That was the first time I heard about kidney failure. And so many people don't know about the disease. You find that most people associate it with maybe family curses or something like that. You find that if you hear about someone with kidney failure, they do not take it as a medical condition. So people need to know that it's happening. Mostly it is associated with old age, but right now it's not about the age. It's there, anyone can have it, and I think people need to know about it. Yeah.
Dr. When it comes to a creation of awareness, around World Kidney Day, how are we doing? Do you feel we're doing enough, or what are the gaps exactly?
Thank you. We're not doing enough, but I must say that we are doing better than we were. TV47 in particular, I know you didn't ask me to say this, I will say it anyway. I think just 2 or 3 weeks ago we were discussing the same issue.
Yes.
And this is probably the 4th time we've discussed kidney health, renal health, and we discussed that before World Kidney Day. So in a way, when I look back to the last 10 years, I realize that a number of influential people, TV stations, for example, you being one of those people, you've really taken up this responsibility. And I see there's a lot of content. The challenge is that when this content is being created, not enough people are paying attention.
and we don't pay attention because it seems something very remote. Peter has said it correctly. We think that kidney disease is something that is out there. Yet, within a very short time, some of us discover that our kidneys are not what they used to be, because the kidneys are very resilient. You can lose 90% of kidney function before you have any kind of symptom. So in terms of awareness, I want to say that the effort has definitely increased. There are people doing a very good job, and I'll keep saying thank you to your team as well. But the reception on the other end is not there. So we keep talking about these events. This year's World Kidney Day, we are talking about caring for people, protecting the planet, understanding the nexus between kidney health and the environment, and also the consequences of, say, for example, dialysis on the planet. So these kinds of conversations is all we can do at the moment. We can keep putting the information out there, and hopefully if we talk about it long enough, someone will hear about it and it will help somebody.
Now, just from that point that you've left it at, the nexus between kidney health and the environment, walk us through that. What is really the correlation between these two?
Quite a number of things, really. So our country, our world, we've spoken about, say, for example, global warming. Global warming increases temperatures, causes dehydration. Dehydration is one of the things that can cause kidney failure. We talk about pollution. Pollution in our environment will cause a host of diseases, including issues that will result in hypertension, diabetes, which account for almost 75% of all chronic kidney disease cases. We talk about accessibility of food and water, access to health, infections, poor sanitation. All these issues become a problem, and they can result in kidney disease. On the flip side, treatment for kidney diseases is a fairly intensive process. One dialysis session alone uses a lot of electricity. The waste products we produce, the plastics, it's huge. So we also have to be careful how we treat the environment as a result, as we manage kidney failure. So the big question this year is, how do we ensure that these practices are still sustainable? And how do we become more aware in a preventive way to reduce the risks of, environmental factors on human health?
All right, Peter, walk us through your journey and your diagnosis, with kidney disease. You said that this is you never knew about kidney disease until you were diagnosed. Then walk us through that journey. What are some of the complications that you faced? Tell us all about that.
Okay, my journey started in 2020, the year 2020. It was on March. I was at work. It was just a normal day. I was going about my work. And in the middle of what I was doing, I noticed I could not see clearly. And that is when I decided after work.
You could not see clearly?
Yeah.
Okay.
My vision was blurred. So I decided after work, I will go to hospital and get my eyes checked. When I go to hospital, the first thing they do is check your vitals, blood pressure, and things like that. And that is when they found out that my blood pressure was too high. This was the first time I was also hearing about blood pressure and you need to get it checked. And I remember the doctor could not believe that I was standing on my feet with the numbers that he was reading, because the reading was about 210 there. And he told me, your pressures are high, we need to admit you, so that we can find out what's causing the blood pressure to be this high. And you can imagine the shock. I've just come from work and now I'm being told I need to be admitted. And I really argued with him because I was like, I am okay. I have just come from work. Now you're telling me you need to admit me, and tomorrow I should be at work. And I told him, no, I will not be admitted.
You were in denial.
Yeah. And he told me, I will give you this drug, take it, go home, but do not go and stay at home. Tell your family about this. You need to see a doctor as soon as possible. You know the behavior with us Kenyans. I did not go to hospital. The following day I went to work. I went to a nearby clinic and told him I have blood pressure. Prescribed the drugs. I continued taking them for about 3 weeks. And that is when now my symptoms really became worse. I started noticing that my legs have started becoming swollen. In the morning I wake up, my face is very puffy, but I still went back to the chemist, and he told me, this is normal, it will go away. You will continue to take the drugs. When you come from work, you come, we monitor the pressure, you will be fine. And I continued like that for about a month. I believe...
Just taking over the counter?
Yeah, just taking over the counter, coming from work, going, taking the meds, and like that. And then I discovered in the evening, if I sleep with my legs high, in the morning I will be fine. So I continued. But now it became very bad. It turned out to be so bad that I could not even go to work, because now the swelling is not going away. And that is when now I even decided to involve my parents. And
after it got worse?
Yeah. And then I was taken to a hospital, and that is when they said, now we need to do some serious tests to know what's really the problem. That is now when I was first told about kidneys. And the doctor said, your kidneys are not working well, and we need now to start medication.
Both of them?
Yeah.
All right.
I thought it was something that will be treated and it will go away. Actually, I was not given information about how the treatment will go. I was just told, go to this room, go and see this doctor. He will tell you about dialysis. I went there. And the first thing I saw, the person who came out of the dialysis room, the way he was dressed, it scared me. So in my mind, I was like, no, I cannot go through this thing. So he came, told me, you need to start dialysis. And it needs to be soon, because the way you look, you are not in a good state. And I remember I was with my mom, and I told her, I am not going through that thing. The way those people are connected to those machines, it cannot be me. And I remember I went back home, and I went to Shags. I told Mom, this will go away. I am sure I will be okay. I went to Shags. My mom believed me, and we went, because she was also shocked. When I went home, I stayed home for about 2 weeks, but now I could not even walk. I was being taken from the bedroom, kept outside, and then after some time I'm taken back. And that is when now I realized, hey, if I don't do something, I'm going.
All this time you're just hopeful you never wanted to get treatment.
Yeah, because I was afraid. I could not imagine myself in a machine, because the first thing I saw was blood in the machine and people lying on the beds, and I had not even been told what it is about. So it was a hard time for me to accept.
All right.
And I could not also accept that now I'm going to lose my job, which I had just gotten. So it was a very hard time for me. But now at this moment, I realized I need to do something. I remember I told myself, it's better I die trying. So I went to Kenyatta and got admitted there. And now that's the first time they inserted the catheter.
All right. Just hold on to that particular point. Daktari, he has mentioned a lot of things, and I want us to start from the very beginning. He couldn't see properly. He had very blurry vision. But you see, for some of us, personally, when I have blurry vision, I say, I need to sleep. Let me go to sleep, I take a nap, and then I get up doing okay. Then what is the correlation between eye blurriness and, of course, kidney health?
The correlation for him, and I'm glad he's raised a number of issues that we need to address as
step by step.
The blurry vision, the connection is high blood pressure. And it seems he had high blood pressure for a long time. Remember last time we were here talking about hypertension, and we said that it's a silent killer.
Yes.
It damages every single place where you have a blood vessel, but it does so slowly you'll not even know. By the time you get symptoms, it's too late. So the blood pressure was damaging the kidneys. It was also damaging the eyes and the heart as well. I'm sure he would tell us that when he did his echo, he found something had changed there as well because of the length of it. So this is called retinopathy. Basically, the eyes get affected because of high blood pressure, and that is what took him to hospital. And in general, we say, with high blood pressure and with kidney disease, by the time you get symptoms, it's almost too late. This is the main thing that I want to highlight now. Something like blurry vision, if you have it, please, by all means, get to a facility. The other thing that he mentioned is the lack of education that, from the doctors.
Yes.
I think all healthcare workers, let's step it up. Let's share this information. Kenyans are keen to learn, and you know the old way of saying, I've made a diagnosis, we end up pale. That's out. Now we discuss. The patient's best doctor is actually the patient himself and the person next to him. So you educate them. When you educate them, you get better compliance. And this way, by the way, in his own case, would have probably started dialysis much earlier. You'd have gone through a much smoother process if at the first instance we took him through education. He spoke about taking medication at the pharmacy. You know, and
before we even get to that particular point, at some point he said he was quite skeptical about, you know, starting treatment. And now that brings us to the question of health-seeking behavior with regard to kidney. We are creating awareness 20 years now in Kenya. Are we seeing improvement with how Kenyans or even men, for instance, are coming to the hospital to get their kidneys checked? Because time and time again we hear that the health-seeking behavior for men is very bad.
Men are worse, but I wouldn't say that our ladies
women are worse.
Men are definitely worse than women. They're doing much worse than the ladies. I think that basic things like annual wellness checks, just walk into a facility, have the basics checked, we don't do that. I know we spoke with Peter a couple of years ago in this same sitting, and we did agree that, you know, if we just did the annual check, and there are so many offers, just walk into a place, they check your blood pressure, check your blood sugar, it's free. I guarantee you every year you're going to find somebody who's giving this for free. You'd pick high blood pressure, you'd pick high blood sugar, and these two factors account for 75% of kidney failure, chronic kidney disease. So if we get into that place of checking our health every year, and these are just very, very basic tests, would really prevent a lot of morbidity, a lot of difficulties for ourselves in future. So that's why we need to start, to embrace getting checked when we feel fine.
He mentioned about the clinics as well, that you know, he started taking over-the-counter medications, and then at some point it worsened the conditions for him. So does it mean that taking the over-the-counter worsened the conditions, or was it just an underlying condition that was trying to just come out even without this medication?
Yeah, so traditionally, we've made a very big mistake as a Kenyan population, and we believe that the pharmacist is equally a doctor, but they're very distinct roles. In the past, we used to think that anyone working in a hospital is a doctor, the pharmacist as well. This is not the case. The pharmacist is an expert in the medication, how it interacts, but in terms of diagnosis, you need to see a clinician, a doctor who takes history, evaluates, and says this is the best drug for you for this particular process. But in our setting, it has become commonplace because of the risks of course. You bypass the diagnosis and go to the medicine person, not realizing that these are two different roles. And there's overreach there. And that kind of overreach is causing a lot of harm to a lot of children. So with greater regulation, we'll hold people accountable. But also we need to know that over-the-counter medication are things like paracetamol, painkillers, things that are specifically written over the counter. And even these are dangerous. For example, if you have constant pain and you always take Brufen as Mamito recommends, then you find this can actually in itself cause kidney failure, can cause ulcers. So we have to be very, very careful about over-the-counter medication. Then secondly, if you find that you want to explain your symptoms to the pharmacist, that's a no-no. Explain your symptoms to a doctor in a consultation room. Then go to the pharmacist. That's the best practice.
So the doctor prescribes, the pharmacist gives.
Correct.
All right. Let's get some of the feedback that we are receiving this morning, Daktari. And we're asking you, what questions do you have for Daktari this morning with regard to kidney health? It's World Kidney Day today. Let's listen in.
Good morning, Morning Cafe. Good morning, Daktari, Fred, and Anne. As we mark World Kidney Day here on Morning Cafe today, many people really think about their kidneys health until problems arise. And now my question to doctor is, what are some of the early warning signs that our kidneys may not be functioning properly? And also, what simple daily habits should people adopt to protect their kidneys and prevent diseases before it becomes that serious?
Right, Daktari, even before you answer that question, I want to tie it to Peter's conditions first, and I want him to paint a picture for us of what happens in the system of somebody who has kidney complications, and then you tie it to now the symptoms. You tell us, because they call it a silent killer, right? A silent epidemic. You don't realize it's existing until something it progresses slowly. So walk us through that. What happens in the system of somebody with a kidney complication? How were you feeling after your diagnosis and, of course, your journey into treatment?
Okay, before my diagnosis, I was okay. I was feeling okay. And I came to learn that it's by the time you see the symptoms, it's already too late. So you cannot really tell that you have kidney failure without doing the test, because by the time the symptoms show up, it's too late. The kidneys have failed. You know, what happens with the kidneys is that the way they are losing their function, they continue to stretch to make sure that they cover the gap that is being lost. So you might not notice the difference really, but you might say drop in urine. Your urine output might go down. If you notice that your urine output is going down, there is a problem. You need to get checked. But by the time you see the symptoms, it's too late. Yeah.
Dr. Let's get into the depth of it now. Telltale signs to look out for that will tell you that, you know, your kidneys aren't quite healthy.
I think, and that's the wrong question in this instance, because by the time we get those telltale signs, it means that even if you go to hospital one way or the other. Take Peter's story. There's a time he decided, you know, I'll just go home. But then the symptoms become so bad that you really have to go to hospital. And that's what happens. By the time you see these symptoms, that's what happens. So I want us to really understand that. The first set of symptoms you want to watch out for are for the two big causes of kidney failure. And those are the symptoms of diabetes and symptoms of high blood pressure. High blood pressure has 0 symptoms until it's very late. As I said, your kidneys themselves, you will feel normal until you've lost about 90% of your kidney function. 90%, only 10% is left. So if you wait for symptoms, it's too late. Better to just get checked, check your blood pressure, check your blood sugar, then 2 very simple tests. A urine test to look for proteins in that urine, and then secondly, a small blood prick to check your creatinine level. But just to answer the question that you've asked me, in fact, one of the early symptoms is not producing very little urine, but in fact producing a little bit more urine than you produce. One myth in the kidney failure area is that if you're producing a normal amounts of urine, then you're okay. Actually, no. You can have poor quality urine, but quantities are there. The kidneys are removing some waste products from the system. So the symptoms that then come up later, now near dialysis, near end stage, it will depend on which particular factor of the kidney that we're discussing. For instance, we remove urea, which is a product of breakdown of proteins and everything else from your body. And what that does, it accumulates. It's a very big waste item. You'll become nauseous. You feel fatigued, tired. It can get into your brain. You become disoriented. You can get into a state of coma. Then your blood doesn't clot easily. You can bleed very easily because of that urea. There's a second item we remove, which is called potassium. The kidneys remove that, and that can cause variations in your heart rate. Calcium becomes affected, your bones become brittle and weak as a result of something called renin. You know, your kidneys also detect when the blood fluid coming in is less, then it increases your blood pressure. Your pressure can shoot up because of this. So and your blood level can go down, anemia, that will give you symptoms like dizziness, you know, you feel tired all the time. Your legs begin to swell. You wake up in the morning and your face is puffy. You can see sometimes on your skin you have some dots like crystals that are forming. And if you look at your feet, you're wondering why are my feet swollen and things like this. But by the time you get these kinds of symptoms, the key message here, that's already too late. For the kidneys, you have to get checked. Get into the habit of free annual checks. If you can't afford to do a check for yourself, every year people are doing, like today I'm sure there are people giving free checks everywhere across this country.
So we should get tested regardless of whether we have high blood pressure or diabetes?
We should, when you're feeling perfectly fine, this is my message to the people. Every year, when you're feeling perfectly fine, walk into a hospital, get your blood pressure checked, get your sugar checked as a minimum. The other tests you can also do, but get into that habit. It will save you a world of pain.
All right, let's get some more questions.
Good morning, Morning Cafe with Fred Indimuli and Anodida. My name is Lillian. I'm watching the show from Karen. And my question to the doctor today is what foods or drinks will help me to protect my kidneys actually? And should I like reduce salt or protein in my diet, or how should like my diet look like so that I can maintain healthy kidneys? Thank you.
The question on diet, Daktari. How does now diet fit in this issue of kidney disease?
Yeah, very important question. So, and then for the kidneys, the diet changes actually across the spectrum. There's an initial time when your kidneys are perfectly fine. So you want to do what is called preventive treatment. That's to promote your health, to reduce the risk of getting some of these diseases you keep talking about. And please note that when you speak about kidney disease, we can't avoid high blood pressure, we can't avoid diabetes. So what then do you want to do? What is healthy eating? First and foremost, remove the harmful things. Excessive alcohol, tobacco, those two things don't add value in your life. And then secondly, you want to eat lots of greens, you want to eat fruits, you want to eat, avoid processed foods that have hidden sodium. You want to reduce the amount of salt that you're taking in your diet in general. When you talk about carbohydrates, whole grain, the browns, what we used to have before, you know, they're processed in totality. When you talk about protein, in moderation, and you lean towards the healthy, what you call plant proteins or the white meats, those are generally pretty good for you. And you want to regulate what you're taking, take adequate amounts of water, and take care of your health in general. That is in terms of when you don't have, you're normal, you're preventing kidney failure. As you progress towards the end of the spectrum, then your body then begins to have issues handling things like water and handling things like potassium. Now, potassium is very high in foods like bananas, avocado, spinach. So while very early on you're saying this is healthy, and you know it's healthy, when your kidneys are failing and you're towards dialysis, then these kinds of foods become actually harmful. When you talk about urea, one of the big things that the kidneys wash out, it comes down up from the breakdown of protein. So before dialysis, in kidney failure, you reduce the amount of protein that you're taking. But once you're in dialysis, because dialysis itself washes out protein, then the equation reverses. You must take lots of protein. So these kinds of conversations, reduce processed sugar. Generally, all these carbonated drinks, please just leave that. Processed foods that you pick from the refrigerator, those very nice.
Carbonated drinks, soda and the likes.
Sorry?
Soda and the likes?
Soda, yes, but also things like, people will not like this one, sausages, nyama choma, all these kinds of things have their harmful effects that we want to tone down.
Hapo umegusa wengi. But Peter, talk to us about some of the foods that now you are warned against and how your diet look like.
Okay. Some of the things that I do not take is what Dr. has said. Those carbonated foods.
Even after your transplant?
Yeah. I really need to take care of the new kidneys so that I do not end up losing it again. So you need to check your diet, make sure that you don't take too much salt in your food. Make sure you are drinking water, and make sure that if you feel the urge to go to the washrooms, that you don't hold back your urine. You need to go immediately and relieve yourself. Those are some of the things that I'm doing. Yeah.
All right. Let's get some more feedback now. We're learning to go class the health.
Good morning, Keith, with Fred Indimole and Anne Odida. My name is Daniel Kipogei Meli. I'm a student of law at Kenyatta University, and today being a World Kidneys Day, my question to our doctor is that many youths or many young people nowadays consume a lot of processed foods, alcohol, as well as energy drinks. So what or how do these affect their kidney health, and what are the possible steps you need to use to utilize or to do to protect their kidneys? Thank you.
Dr. How does alcohol intake affect the kidney health? That is what he has asked.
Yeah, so all these things that he's mentioned, there are certain, can I say, hidden things that you'll not find. I'll start with the processed foods. There's some hidden sodiums. There's some sodium, some salt. You know, salt is just sodium chloride. So some sodium and other additives that in that food that will actually promote diseases like hypertension. You do not want that. Carbonated drinks. Sodas is pretty much sugar, tons of processed sugar. And sugar and diabetes are, you know, quite close. Sugar really affects, for example, small amounts of sugar being deposited in your arteries will then cause hardening, then cause scarring, and cause all these kinds of diseases. Alcohol as well. Multiple toxins within the alcoholic products, the way they affect your organ systems, your body doesn't function normally. When you feel drunk, I keep telling you, it's because your body is realizing there's something in me that's disrupting my normal function. And this affects every single organ system. Cigarette smoke as well. Cigarettes, when you smoke them, there are tons of toxins that have been identified in cigarette smoke that then affect various organs. Now, all these things cause other diseases. They cause diabetes, they cause hypertension, they cause kidney damage, and these have been proven literally. The only challenge is that these effects come much later. They're very slow. You don't see them. They're not dramatic. It's not like someone hits you on the head and you black out and you feel, this cost me to black out. These ones take time. They take 10 years, they take 15 years. So you don't actually understand how closely they result in your kidney health. But life is not short. Life is long. By the time you're 45, all your bad choices catch up, and then you have another 40 years of in and out relationships with doctors and hospitals.
It's not all gloom and doom with kidney disease. Let's get some more questions as we continue this conversation on kidney health.
Good morning, Morning Cafe with friend Ndimoli and Ann Odita. Being World's Kidneys Day, my question to the doctor is the real main cause of kidney.
She's asking the real main cause of kidney disease.
The real main cause of kidney disease?
Actually, it's kidney stones.
Oh, kidney stones.
Right.
Okay, so kidney stones is one of the, actually it can cause kidney failure itself, but there are many other issues there.
So kidney stones is a cause of kidney disease?
Yes, kidney stones.
So the question should have been the causes of kidney disease, main cause.
Main cause of kidney disease. And I think I spoke about this earlier.
Yes.
I said chronic kidney disease, there are many types. There's what is called chronic kidney disease and acute. Chronic kidney disease is where the damage happens over time, at least 3 months. Often it's much, much longer. And for chronic kidney disease, 40 to 50% are caused by diabetes. And another 20 to 25% are caused by hypertension. Then there are other illnesses like lupus, the infections that come in this conversation. In the acute setting, there are things like dehydration. You know, the chronic use of painkillers can actually cause kidney disease. There are multiple things, kidney stones, trauma, all these things can cause kidney disease. But by far, if you want to reduce the burden of kidney disease, if you can succeed in reducing hypertension and diabetes, by a mile, we'll have reduced the burden of chronic kidney disease that we're reporting.
All right, we have some more feedback from Facebook. Let's get them. But walk us through, Peter, even as we wait for those feedback and questions to come in. The process of your treatment to the point now you are recommended to, for a transplant. Walk us through that.
Okay. The process was dialysis, which is done twice a week here in Kenya. So basically, dialysis, it's where a machine helps you to take out the waste that your kidneys are not taking out. So you just go to the clinic, they put you in the machine, monitor your blood pressure, you do some tests at the end of the month to check how you're doing. And I did that for 2 years. And that is when now I was told the best thing to do so that you can at least have a normal life and go about your normal duties is to have a transplant, which you need to be given by a relative or a family member. And now that is when we started the process. And I would say it's not an easy process. It uses a lot of money because the tests that you do before the transplant usually cost so much. And then there is the surgery itself. It's a lot of money. And then now after the surgery, you need drugs to maintain the new kidney that you've been given. And you also need to make sure that you are going to the hospital to go and get tested to make sure that the kidney is functioning properly, yeah, so that it continues to serve you.
All right, Dr. He was only on dialysis for 2 years before he was recommended for a kidney transplant. But now how long should someone take for them to get a kidney transplant once they are introduced to dialysis?
So at this juncture, the recommendation is that if you're in end stage kidney disease, and remind me to talk about the other stages, because end stage is towards the end completely, then getting you need what is called renal replacement therapy. Renal replacement therapy either is dialysis or now kidney transplant. And most patients say that the transplant is by far the closest to normal life. The dialysis is quite disruptive. So we'd want to move as many patients towards transplant as possible. But it's not easy. It's very expensive. You need a donor to give you a kidney, and also the aftercare is also quite expensive. So if you're confirmed to be in end-stage kidney disease, then transplant is one of the options that is recommended as early as you're able to. I think he was actually quite lucky. There are people who've been on dialysis for 5, 7, 10 years, are still looking for a transplant from that time. But in terms of end-stage chronic kidney disease, there are 5 stages. And end stage is stage number 5. There's stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4. And you may find yourself anywhere on this spectrum, and there's a lot that you can do to avoid getting to the point where you need either dialysis or transplant. You can preserve kidney function. So at whatever level you get diagnosed, there are a number of steps. Walk with your doctor, step by step. There's so much that can be done to delay or actually stall the worsening or the progress of that kidney disease. So for example, you find that your issue has actually been high blood pressure. Then controlling that blood pressure becomes a factor in reducing progression, and you can actually have another 10 years where you don't need dialysis and you don't need a transplant. I think these are the key messages that I really want to pass, that there's a lot of hope in early detection, and a lot of things can be done to reduce these kinds of needs, yes.
What crucial aspects of kidney awareness do you think we're missing out when we just associate kidney disease to dialysis only? Because he mentioned that by the time he was being diagnosed with kidney disease, he was told that, look for someone, he will go to this doctor, he will tell you about dialysis. Then what are we missing about awareness?
The first is adequate education, because we have sort of accepted the understanding to revolve around dialysis, which is, as we know, at the very tail end of this spectrum. In this whole process, there's prevention. The person who still hasn't even gotten to stage 1 kidney failure. So there's a lot of conversation there that we could be having that we are not actually having. Then the people who get into that first stage, then how to educate them that in fact we can stay here for 10, 15, 20 years. We do not want to really go further down on this spectrum. Then those conversations can become extremely useful, but we miss those opportunities. But the biggest part is, on the flip side, our reception to these kinds of conversations, because there are people hearing me today, hearing us talking, hearing Peter, hearing you, Anne, but they'll go about their business, they'll finish this session and go to the next TikTok video. What we need to do is actually change our habits. Let this kind of information change how we act. Meaning that if you hear me today, you guarantee that you and your family members and all your loved ones, if you've not gone for a health check in the last 2-3 years, that within this week you'll have your blood pressure checked and sugar checked, and that can go a long way. I think that is the missing link, where we translate this information into action that impacts us, to realize that this is relevant to us, because we feel we are fine, not realizing that your body is resilient. It can stretch. You can give it the worst beating, but it accommodates it and behaves as if it's fine until it can't anymore. Then it's too late.
All right, we are asking you online, what question do you have for Daktari here with regard to kidney health? Send us your questions, but let's get some from Facebook. Aisha from Nairobi says, I didn't know 1 in 10 Kenyans has kidney disease. How do I know if I'm at risk? Last year, the theme for last year was, are your kidneys okay? How does she know if she's okay? Aisha.
The best and most efficient way is to pass by a hospital and have a test. Test for the surrogates being for these 2 diseases I'll keep talking about, high blood pressure and diabetes, and then test for the kidney. A simple urine test looking for if your kidneys are leaking protein, we're looking for protein in urine, and then we check the creatinine. Those 2 simple tests can save you a ton of pain. Yeah.
All right, let's get some more. James from Mombasa says, can kidney disease be reversed if caught early, or is it always permanent? Can it be reversed?
Yes, in acute kidney injury, which is, say for example, someone has had abdominal issue, they lost a lot of fluid, most of this can actually be reversed when caught early. However, for chronic kidney disease, the changes tend to be permanent. So it's the stage at which you get it that you can stall at that level. For example, the way hypertension and diabetes cause kidney failure is by causing scarring in the small filters in the kidneys. There are millions of them, but they cause scarring there. So you know you cannot reverse that scarring, but you can stop the progression of scarring. If it's affected 100,000 of them, you can save, you know, the remaining that have not been affected. Yeah.
Peter, well, this some of the concerns that you had. If I told you this will be reversed, if it will be a permanent condition for you, were these things that really ever crossed your mind?
Yeah. When I was told I have kidney failure, I thought it's something that will be treated and goes away. And as I said, no one educated me about it. I had to find about it from the internet. I had to go with my results, Google what I'm seeing, and that is now when I found out that actually this thing will not be going away. And it was so hard for me, and it was really hard to even accept to take the treatment after finding out that it's something that will not go away. Because now I knew even when I accept this dialysis, I'm not getting cured. So it was so hard for me, but in the end,
You overcame.
grateful. Yeah.
All right, let's get some more feedback. Lillian, watching from Kisumu, is asking, I drink a lot of sodas and alcohol. Is that bad for my kidneys? We've answered that. Brian from Nakuru, my father is diabetic. What's the best way to protect his kidneys? We have a Faith from Eldoret. Is dialysis the only option for kidney failure, or are there other treatment available in Kenya? Kevin from Nairobi is asking, I've been thinking about donating a kidney. What should I know before deciding?
Okay.
Let's point that to Peter. How did you get a donor first? Because now you have received, you know, a kidney.
Yes.
You have walked that journey of, you know, kidney transplant.
Yeah.
Walk us through that process. You know, you're on treatment, you've already gone through dialysis, and then now you're in the stage of now getting a transplant.
Yeah.
How was that?
For me, getting a donor was not so hard because when I got sick, now my mom had to move from home, come live with me, and she walked with me through that journey for the 2 years. And that now is when we were told that a transplant will really help us. She was very willing to donate her kidney, and also my brothers were very willing to donate their kidneys to me. And that now is when we decided to go for the tests. But the one that matched with me was my mom. And the first test that they do is a blood group test. And fortunately, mine and my mom's is the same blood group. And then we proceeded with the tests to do the transplant. Yeah.
So your donor was your mother?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Dr. The question that was asked, he wants to donate a kidney. How does he do it?
Not how to donate. The first thing is to know that it's safe to donate a kidney. You can survive perfectly well with one kidney, and actually even that one kidney can lose a bit of function and you'll still be fine if you get into some kidney disease in future. So to understand that, and before a donor's kidney is taken, we do a host of tests to be sure that the kidney is healthy, the donor is healthy, and we reduce any unnecessary risk to this patient. However, you can't just donate your kidney to anybody. It's something that the doctors have to sort of match you and see that there's a very good chance that this is going to take. If you take a random kidney and implant into somebody else, the risk of rejection is extremely high. So you don't want to take those kinds of risks, then you've lost a kidney for nothing. So it's basically, if you have a family member who needs a kidney and you are a potential donor, please by all means just proceed, because it's fairly safe. It's fairly safe. There were other questions that were raised in the chat. I'm trying to remember.
One person asked, the father has a kidney disease.
Has diabetes.
Has diabetes.
Yes.
Then how can he protect himself?
Yeah, I'll start with the very first one where they asked, they drink a lot of soda and a lot of alcohol. I'm guessing they're very young, so they don't see the impact. I'm telling them 100% it's affecting you, not just your kidneys, but many organs. Of course, we say in Kiswahili, majuto ni mjukuu. Regret is a grandchild. You may not see it now, so better change, because you feel fine now. You'll not feel so fine in just a few. It's also damaging your brain cells and other things as well. For the person whose father is diabetic, the best way to protect the kidney is to control the diabetes. If you control the diabetes, then you have a good chance of safeguarding those kidneys. It's good to check where those kidneys are already. These tests now for you are mandatory, they're not optional, to have the kidneys checked regularly as part of your chronic disease management program. And not only your kidneys, other organs as well will benefit from strict control. Diabetes is actually quite significant. It's important to control the sugars adequately for good quality of life for your dad for the next period of time. I thought that was an important one to add.
Absolutely. Peter, did they ever tell you what caused, your kidney complications? Because when talking about causes, did they ever tell you that?
I think mine was caused by hypertension. No one really told me, but going back, I remember the first thing that took me to the hospital was the eyes, and now I found out I have high blood pressure. So I think it's the one that caused, but they never really did the test to find out exactly what caused it.
Is that possible, Daktari, to conduct a test that will point out that this is exactly what is causing your kidneys to fail?
Now, especially in what we call secondary, there's like high blood pressure. That association is quite clear. You can actually see it. There are things we can do. We can do what is called a renal biopsy, take a portion of the kidney, look under and confirm that these changes that we expect are actually taking place. There's a lot we can do to determine the cause of the blood of the kidney failure. You could have the artery that goes towards the kidneys being affected. You could have issues that can cause high blood pressure, like there's some congenital things that you can test for. However, when you have chronic kidney disease and the kidneys are shrunken, you can only go through history and say history of hypertension, history of high blood pressure, so history of blood sugars being high. Those kinds of things can then tell us this is a more likely cause. I would be quite keen actually to hear from Peter, because I know there's somebody watching who is on dialysis and is debating whether or not they should go for a transplant or they've held it off. I sort of know what the answer would be, but it would be great to hear from him as well.
Yes.
What the life has been for him between dialysis and after the transplant.
Absolutely, and I'll bring that question to him. But I want you to address something, Daktari, about genetic predisposition and what would lead to a child getting or being born with a kidney condition.
Congenital issues. Congenital anomalies can create where there is an abnormality in the structure of the kidneys or how the vessels have formed. These are the main causes that will have a child having this kind of situation. And then there is what is called nephrotic syndrome, where a child can get some infection, then there is infection results in the kidneys leaking protein, and that becomes a problem that becomes very difficult to deal with in the short term and sometimes in the long run as well.
Peter, before of course we get to that question that Daktari was asking you, I want us to go step by step. Some of the challenges that you think that you would say kidney patients are going through that you would say that need to be addressed even as we are marking World Kidney Day?
Yeah, I will start with the dialysis patients. You find that the cost of dialysis is too high first, and then you find that mainly the thing that patients find hard dealing with the disease mostly is funds, because this disease uses a lot of money. Let's say you are going through dialysis, you are very weak. Going to the hospital, you will need transport. You cannot use the public means. You will maybe need a private car or something. You are using money. So that's the big challenge that we have. And of course, the education. People need education. You'll find that even the people who are on dialysis, I find so many of them reaching out to me, asking me about the process of the transplant, how do I start, how is life after the transplant, information that they should be getting from the doctors. They are getting from the patients, which is not really good because the treatment varies from patient to patient. You will find even patients coming to me asking me about diet. Maybe they are on dialysis, I'm on transplant, and maybe we should not be using the same kind of diet. So basically funding and education. We need a lot of education about kidney failure.
What would you say gave you an advantage? You were only on dialysis for 2 years and then, you know, immediately just progressed to transplant.
Yeah.
What gave you an advantage?
I would say the advantage I had is I had a lot of well-wishers. Because before I got sick, I was working at a place where a lot of people knew me. I was a DJ at a TV station. So when I got sick, a lot of people came out to support me, and that now is how I was able to raise the funds and get the treatment so quickly. Yeah.
The issue of stigma, Peter.
Yeah.
Right now you are, of course, in your recovery journey.
Yeah.
I assume you're not as sick as you were
Yes.
when you were first diagnosed with kidney disease.
Yeah.
Are you still facing any form of stigma?
Yeah, I am. The first thing right now, if I meet someone, or even if I meet anyone, my friends or something, you find that the first thing they ask you, how are you doing? Are you feeling okay? Is everything okay? So every time a person sees you, they see a patient, which now even also affects my work, because even a client is approaching you, they are worried, is this person able to deliver? So you find that there is a lot of stigma because people don't know that now I can now function fully. I'm able to do my work the way I used to. So I think it's all about education, really. Yeah, but
Now,
the stigma is there.
All right, now walk us through the process of your transplant.
Yeah.
Step by step. I was reading somewhere that some people prefer to just stay on dialysis for one reason or the other. I don't know why. You will, Dr. and Peter, of course, you will tell us why.
Yeah.
Take us through that process, you know, from dialysis, transplant. What were you doing in that process that just made everything so smooth?
The thing that made it so smooth, I think my mom was also, her health was okay, so the tests were seamless, because you find that with other patients, you'll find that they do a couple of tests and maybe on the way, the donor maybe is found to have hypertension and diabetes. Now, the problem here is, let's say you've done some tests with a particular donor. You've maybe used a lot of money, and maybe in the last stage, it's found out that they cannot donate. And the doctor tells you, we can no longer proceed with this donor, bring another donor. You will start the tests from the start, and you will use another amount of money. So for me, I would say I was very lucky. I never got into such hurdles or something like that. That is why my process was so seamless. Yeah.
Dr. Let's get into the depth of it, that particular point, the process of transplant. What do people need to do? The nitty-gritties of in between, you know, dialysis and transplant.
The first is to sit down with your doctor and determine that, yes, you are fit to go through transplant as a patient, that this is something that's likely to work for you, and that once a donor kidney is implanted, it has a good chance of surviving, because there's no point in making a transplant when the prospects, first, you may not get through the surgery yourself, and even after the surgery, then sustaining the treatment thereafter, because you have to be on some treatment to reduce rejection, and also making the kidney survive may be complicated. That's the first thing that the doctors will determine. Then the second thing is to determine a suitable donor for you, and that many people have lots of challenges. We have to be very appreciative of Peter's mom, a great lady, you know, mothers, God bless them, being there and support, and siblings as well. There's a process of making sure this donor is also safe, that if they give up their kidney, then you're not putting their lives at risk, and that this kidney will take again, it will have a good, you know, stay in the patient's, you know, the patient to whom it's being put. We have to check whether this is too much. There's a lot of testing that goes on here to be sure that the risk of rejection is reduced. And then there's a lot of counseling that goes into this to ensure that both the recipient and the donor understand what the journey looks like, what it's going to take, what will be done, because many people think that after the transplant, that is it. But in fact, the transplant is just one part of it. There is lifelong treatment that goes on after that to ensure that the kidney remains, that you take good care of it, and I think Peter alluded to some of these conversations. Then there's getting the team together to evaluate the patients once again. Then you can go in and have the kidney transplant done. We take good care of the donor, make sure that they're safe. We do a bit of follow-up and keep track to make sure that they're okay. Then start the journey now of safeguarding this new kidney in the patient who was received it.
So medication is a lifetime?
Yeah.
Yes.
Even after transplant?
Correct.
All right, Peter, we've come to the end of this conversation, but I want you to talk to somebody who is skeptical about starting dialysis or maybe scared about transplant and just worried if they will be lucky enough as you are.
Yeah.
Just tell them something.
I will tell them to stay strong. I know it is not easy. I know right now you are worried, I know you are scared, but I would tell you that dialysis is actually not that bad. Yes, it's challenging, but right now you need it to stay alive, because if you do not go through it, it might turn out to be really bad. And those who are considering transplant, I would tell them that it's the best treatment, because as for me right now, I'm able to do my normal duties independently, which I could not do when I was on dialysis. I would tell them that it's okay, you can do it, and to the donors and to everyone out there, it is okay to donate your kidney. Your life will go on as normal, and you will not take any drugs after you've donated the kidney, because I think I need to stress on it, because I find a lot of people thinking that after they donate their kidney, they will need to take the drugs. The only person who takes these drugs is the person who has received the kidney, but after you donate your kidney, your life will go back to normal. So go out there, save a life. Yeah.
Very, very important point that he has, raised and addressed, because he only talked about lifetime medication for somebody who has now the disease and who has received, the other kidney. Dr. What is your call to action as we mark World Kidney Disease 2026?
Annual check, get tested. Prevention, prevention, prevention. And by preventing kidney failure, indirectly you'll find you're preventing hypertension, you're preventing diabetes, or detecting them early. The amount that the amount of grief you can save yourself by this annual check is immense. You can thank Anne later for bringing this message to you.
Absolutely. You can thank, of course, Peter and Dr. for also being here to give us information and knowledge on everything we need to know about our kidney health. Caring for people, protecting the planet is the theme for this year, 2026 World Kidney Day. It, of course, encourages the importance of kidney health, and like Dr. mentions, check up, check up, check up. That is Dr. Victor Ngani, a medical doctor, Dr. Rasik Kantaria Jalara Medical Services, and of course, Peter Karanja, a kidney transplant recipient, talking to us about kidney health as we mark World Kidney Day today. Take care of your kidneys and get yourself checked. My name is Anne Odida. We've come to the end of this conversation. Let's continue on our socials, TV47 Kenya on Facebook and on YouTube and X at TV47 Digital. Keep sending your voice notes, your questions on WhatsApp 0793-267-279. My handle is at Anne_Dida. I'll see you tomorrow, inshallah. Good morning.